Robinson. Her family is demanding answers after the influencer from South Jersey was found dead during a trip to Africa where she had just been engaged.
Do you believe that Joe McCann had something to do with your daughter's death?
The luxury hotel the couple was staying at called saying Ashlee passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashlee had an unidentified mark around her neck.
You're so shocked that I would do something because you wouldn't do it.
Was this murder, or was Ashlee Robinson responsible for her own death? That's the question that has been at the center of this case ever since her name made headlines. Because according to a police commander in a statement obtained by a local outlet and published by People magazine, authorities say they believe that Ashlee Robinson was responsible for her own death and that her fiancé has not been accused of any wrongdoing. In fact, the police commander went on to say that the police were not planning to detain or pursue legal action against her fiancé, and that he has not been accused of any wrongdoing by authorities. But her family is pushing back on that narrative, saying that Ashlee had so much to live for and that she would not have done this. And now even celebrities are stepping into the conversation. Cardi B took to social media and said that girl did not off herself. And many believe that this post is in reference to Ashlee. And what's adding to this is that right before Ashlee's death, her and her fiance had a misunderstanding. Now, the details surrounding that misunderstanding have not been released, but it was serious enough that hotel intervened and placed them in separate rooms. And according to authorities, it was in that room that Ashlee made that fatal decision. But before we get into that, I want to take a step back and give you some background so you know exactly who she was and you can decide for yourself if there's more to the story. Now, if you haven't done so already, please be sure to like the video, drop a comment below and let me know if you're already following this case and what your thoughts are about it. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you appreciate my coverage.
Yo, she fire. Brown skin, pretty brown eyes.
Ashlee Robinson was a beautiful 31-year-old woman who online went by Ashlee Jenae. She was building a following online, and many described her as being an influencer, and she was also making a name for herself in the entertainment industry, having appeared in music videos with big name artists and in photo shoots such as Lil Baby and Drake. She was also a model, and by all accounts, she was very confident. She knew exactly who she was and exactly what she wanted out of life, and she would frequently post videos online that reflected that.
You know, sometimes it's just necessary to go get your makeup done, get your hair done, get your nails did, look cute, get dressed up, to remind a motherfucker to stop playing with you.
So she was at a really good point in her life, and the only thing that was missing was happiness. She would post about it online, even going back to 2023 when she made a post saying, "I deserve happiness." And then in 2024, another post where she said, "I can't wait to wake up to the love of my life every day." So by the end of 2024, when Ashlee meets this man who, by all accounts, was giving her the soft life that she always wanted, many people thought that this was it, that she had finally found happiness. See, Ashlee had a preference, and online she wasn't shy about making that known, even at times when she would face backlash for it. She made a post going back to 2012 saying, "My baby is going to be mixed when I have a child." And then in 2014, another post where she said, "Mixed babies are so cute." And one of her posts that caught a lot of attention was from July the 10th, 2024, where she said, "Every day, Black men wake up and find new ways to embarrass us." But at the same time, she also made it clear that she loved being a Black woman. So, with everything coming together for Ashlee, she had her fiance, a CEO in the crypto and finance space, a man who, by all appearances, was living a very successful lifestyle. She was rooted in her own success, and they were building the family that she had always wanted. Now, leading up to the trip, Ashlee posted on social media on March the 29th and captioned it, "Hardwood Floors, Soft Life," reflecting the lifestyle that she was now living. And by early April, she was already out of the country with her fiance, sharing moments from what appeared to be a dream trip, as her family would call it. On April the 3rd, she uploaded a photo showing her proposal. As she's walking through this beautiful scenery, he proposes to her, and she later posts that video saying, "Still taking this all in somewhere in Africa." Then on April the 4th, another post where she said, "If this is a dream, no one wake me up." Then on April the 5th, she turned 31 and she made a post saying, "Chapter 31, and I'm exactly where I need to be." This would be her final public social media post. And what stands out is that from the moment of the proposal on April the 3rd, Ashlee had been posting every single day. April the 3rd, April the 4th, April the 5th. Then suddenly, nothing. No posts on the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th. So what could have happened on this trip? Because by April the 8th, she was calling her mom to let her know that there had been a dispute.
But something crazy happened. She was having a good time. Her family said she was very excited to be there, shared pictures with the family, FaceTimed them when she was proposed to. But they released a statement saying that Ashlee was found unconscious in her villa and was rushed to a local hospital where her death was confirmed hours later. I spoke to Robinson's parents. Here's some of what they had to say.
It doesn't make any sense. She was traveling with her, with her boyfriend, and he was taking on what was supposed to be a celebratory trip to celebrate her birthday that was coming, and they were in a gorgeous place in Africa and happy. Everything that we knew was that she was supposed to be happy, and she was engaged. She celebrated her birthday thereafter, and then she's just gone. We're confused about how that could change so drastically.
What can you tell us in terms of how you found out, and have you spoken to her fiance?
I was initially contacted by him to let me know that something had occurred, and that she was in the hospital, but it was very limited communication and not with a lot of detail. I asked him, when it happened and where it happened, and he told me that something had occurred 11 hours prior to when he was reaching out to me.
We found out that our daughter had passed from the hotel. The fiance did not reach out to us at all.
Do you believe that Joe McCann had something to do with your daughter's death?
We don't
want
have, it's under investigation, and we don't know what went on.
It's under investigation, and like we said, we just want transparency. Just let us know.
I want to make sure that everybody is fully aware that she was a light. She was a light. She was a beautiful person, and this doesn't align with who she is.
Understandably, the family really didn't want to talk about Joe McCann, the man who proposed.
Okay, now I want you to pay attention to this, because this is where the timeline really becomes critical. On April the 3rd, Ashlee had posted that she was in Africa. However, according to ABC News, she and her fiance didn't check into the hotel until April the 6th. This would be the location where this incident would later occur. So what that tells us is that they had already been in the country, but had stayed at least one other location before arriving here. And within just 2 days of checking in to this location, things would take a turn because, as you heard from her mother, there was a conflict between Ashlee and her fiance. But here's where things gets interesting, because when this conflict occurred, the hotel staff became involved. They moved her fiance to a different villa in the resort, about 8 to 10 minutes walking distance from Ashlee's room, is what the police said. And Ashlee was found unresponsive in her room about 2 or 3 hours later by hotel staff. So pay attention to that, because after this conflict occurs, they have this disagreement. They remove the fiance, they take him to another location. They're saying it's like 8 to 10 minutes walking distance. Now, if there's camera footage that shows if anyone went into Ashlee's room, that has not been released. It hasn't been discussed. They have said this is an ongoing investigation. But what we do know is that once he was removed from that room, within 2 to 3 hours, Ashlee, according to the police, she takes her life. I do want you to keep in mind that this is an ongoing investigation, so new information continues to come out. In fact, the authorities have clarified that because this is an ongoing investigation, Ashlee's fiance is currently being questioned by police, and an investigation into her death is ongoing, as reported by ABC News. In addition to that, they have now taken his passport while the investigation is ongoing. So it appears from what's been reported by ABC News that he is unable to leave because of the active investigation. Okay, now let me know, what are your thoughts about this case so far? I also want you to pay attention to this news clip where it goes over the report about the marks or the bruises that was found on Ashlee, which is why her parents have said that they believe that her death is suspicious. But listen to this and then let me know your thoughts.
Sadness. It's like a part of me has been taken away.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Jenae on social media, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
We believe that they were in love. We believe that their relationship was genuine.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called, saying she and her fiancé got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiancé.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened, when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury hotel the couple was staying at called, saying Ashlee passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashlee had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, quote, according to the husband, he found she hanged herself on the door with several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
Ashlee was also taken to a second hospital, who listed her cause of death as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
She was not just going to be discarded.
Now, a lot of conversation online has centered around the backlash Ashlee received because of some of her past posts and also the age difference between her and her fiance. Ashlee was 31, and in a podcast interview released on November the 1st, 2024, he disclosed that he was 44 years old. So I'm going to play a short portion of that interview, which comes from the podcast When Shift Happens. In that clip, he talks about his views on mental health and how he believes that therapy is necessary for everyone. He also shares some other interesting perspectives that I want you to hear about as well. Now, if you want to hear the full conversation, be sure to check out When the Shift Happens podcast. And this is also part of why this case has stood out to so many people. You have the age difference. You have her family saying that this was supposed to be one of the happiest trips of her life. And then you have the fact that based on everything that has been reported so far, there was some type of altercation, but we still don't know exactly what that altercation was about. What we do know is that within just 2 to 3 hours of them being separated, Ashlee was dead. So listen to these clips and let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
You know, I always find it interesting when people are like super shocked that you would make a decision out of like the kindness of your heart or a decision out of love. It makes me think. The reason you're asking me like, are you sure, or are you not gonna go back on your decision, or is because you would do that. You're so shocked that I would do something because you wouldn't do it. And I sit on that. We give so many people, what's the word I would use? We give them the treatment we wish to receive from them. And they're so shocked when we give it to them because they would never do it for us. Shit is crazy.
Earlier, which is we hate losing more than we enjoy winning. I don't know why. It's probably some instinctual, fight or flight thing. I'm not sure. Like, maybe you're always kind of on the defense because you don't want to get eaten by a lion or something, right? Maybe that's where it goes back to. But nonetheless, pretty much every human being has this innate feeling or emotional construct. When you have skin in the game and you apply your own money to something as an investment, you as a human are immediately emotionally tied to that and its value. And you can see the value of it in real time, especially with crypto, right? Because it goes up and down every second. The challenge that I think people run into with loss aversion is somewhat what I alluded to earlier, is that before you put a trade on, let's just talk about like liquid token investing or liquid asset investing, you should know your exit before you put it on. Meaning
that's actually the last secret. Yeah.
There you go. So the reason you should know that is that if you don't, here's what happens. And I am almost certain many of you watching this and listening, this has been your scenario. Okay. I'm going to buy, Bitcoin at $65,000. Okay. And I'm going all in. I'm putting all my money into it, which is a bad idea, but let's just assume that you guys do that. So it's 65,000. Oh, it goes down to 64. You're like, oh, it's just whatever. It's nothing, right? And then it's like at 60K, and you're like, well, it's down 8%. It's not the end of the world, Bitcoin's a highly volatile asset. It'll bounce back. Now it's at 50K, and you go, well, that's a big psychological level. We're going to bounce from there. Now it's at 48K. You're like, it broke that level, but you know what? I'm holding this for the long term. I'm a long-term investor. You put a trade on, not a long-term investment. Now, if it was a long-term investment, these prices are irrelevant to you, right? You're just holding it, right? But if you're watching the price, it's a trade. And so what people end up doing is they justify why they stay in a losing position. It's so easy to do. Like, we're human beings. This is what we do. And we find ways of rationalizing. Oh, well, there's this supply overhang from a token. Blah, blah, blah. Stop. Like, the price is the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters. And if it's going against you, you were wrong. I tell people all the time, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. Staying wrong is a sin. And that's one of the things that I had to learn the hard way as well as a trader and investor. I am wrong all the time. Yeah, I'm 44, so it wasn't that long ago, believe it or not. There was a moment when I was running my last company, NodeSource, where I hadn't gone through, some form of like talk therapy, where I was wondering to myself, like, why am I feeling this way? I just raised a Series B, like the company's doing really well. The open source project is exploding globally, like all of these kind of like, accolades. And I felt nothing from it. And I was like, something's not right. And so this is one of the first time I actually engaged in psychotherapy. And I absolutely think everybody should do it. I have a personal trainer for my body. I think of a therapist as like a personal trainer for your brain. It's the same thing, in my opinion. And that fundamentally changed my perspective and has served me since then. So it's probably like 6 years ago.
Why should everyone go to therapy?
Well, if you're of the belief that you want to take care of your body, a lot of people tend to exercise, they do fasting, they do, certain diets, whatever it is. There isn't a lot of focus on the mind. and training the mind. And so having, you can call it a therapist, you can call it a coach. I think a lot of folks in the United States, given the regulatory environment for these type of practitioners, end up calling themselves coaches so they don't have to file for some license in every single state. But ultimately, I have a coach that I train with at the gym, and I have a coach that I train with for my mind. And I think that if you want to be physically fit, you can certainly do it yourself. There's things you have to do on your own, but I would argue you always, end up with better results if you have a physical trainer, like, and I think that's exactly the same thing for your brain and your mental health, is that you can absolutely try to do it on your own. And I think that there are practices, people do meditation, other people do, psychedelic experiences, etc. I think those are great. I do think that there's a ton of value in having that trainer for your mind as well. And I can't imagine at this point for the rest of my life not having that, that trainer as a part of my journey.
You told me that you had chronic insomnia at the same time, right? You said I was feeling nothing when I raised these Series Bs and had all these accolades, and that you needed, I think, about 1 year of therapy to reverse this problem. What did you learn from going to therapy an entire year to solve a single issue?
Yeah. So, chronic insomnia, it can manifest in various ways. Some people have difficulty falling asleep. Other people have difficulty staying asleep. Other people have both. So, mine was the result of, I would say, Silicon Valley startup culture and me kind of full throttling it.
And maybe this is just me, but I just thought about it because I was driving on my way home. I'd really be ready to cut a nigga off over the smallest shit. Like the littlest thing, I just be turned off. It was mad people in the regular lane, and the express lane was clear as fuck. I'm zooming through that bitch, passing, feet. As a grown man in 2023, living in the state of Florida, specifically Dade County, Broward County, fuck is you doing without a sun pass? Like, honestly, you want to just vibe in traffic. Vibe. Could take you 15 minutes to get somewhere. You want to chill out for the next 45 minutes sitting in a regular lane for what? It ain't gonna work with me, baby. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. I ain't gonna lie. I'm talking about, yo, babe, get over into the express lanes faster, da-da-da. Nah, I ain't finna do all that. Bitch, if you don't drive over them fucking cones and get on, alright, hear me out. And maybe this is just me, but I just thought about it because I was driving on my way home. I'd really be ready to cut a nigga off. I'm getting ready for work tonight, and a word has been going through my head all day long, right? And the word is reciprocation. Reciprocation, right? That means if you don't call me, I'm not calling you. You're not hearing from me. You don't text me, might as well delete my number. You don't make plans with me. We never seen each other. We not linking. You call me on my name, you about to be every name in the book. Reciprocation. 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 I don't give a fuck what you want to call it. I'm and I'm recating all year long. That's it. Just not taught the unspoken rule, or if y'all just stop giving a fuck, I don't know which one it is. I can't fault y'all for not knowing. But it's been happening so often lately that I feel like I have to say something. I have to. Because enough is enough. Walking is like driving a car. That means you stay to the right at all times. You stay to the right. Only time you go to the left is if you got speed past somebody on the right. That means if you're walking in the mall, all the stores is on the right hand side. Boom, store. Only time you cross over to the left is if the store is on the other side. If you are going up the stairs, you stay to the right. The person coming down is going to be on your left and their right. Still staying to the right. What's not clicking? Make it make sense. You are fucking up feet traffic. Fucking it up. How did I start modeling for hair companies? Well, I originally started getting wigs installed that companies would send me for free for promotion, and then from there I was getting recognized by other brands, and they ended up wanting me to model for their campaigns that they were doing.
So then it turned into billboards and storefronts and etc.